PA, zip code 15047. PO Box 225. Reno, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet's World Wide Web at www.trarc.net. www.trarc.net. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month except August and December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blaine Hill Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue in Elizabeth, PA. We're open to send for check-ins as emergency or priority traffic at this time. Okay, does anyone have listings of Silent Kate, any radio members who recently passed away? Not heard. I have listings of two this evening. The first one was Wayne Valentino, Whiskey 3 Victor America. Wayne Valentino, Whiskey 3 Victor America, and John Roberts, Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. John Roberts, Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu.
Oh no!
John Roberts was a member of the Tour of
Yeah, he was.
many years.
Yeah. I'm so sad.
Even just recently.
Oh no!
John was a regular, pretty much a regular check-in here on this net. John also served on the board of directors of the Two Rivers back in the 1970s. And he was also a member of Pre-Shooters and other groups in the area. So many of us remember John Roberts, AA3. His all call at the time was AA3OZ. And his call currently is Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. With that, John's funeral will be tomorrow at the J. Cox Funeral Home over there in O'Neill Boulevard, McGeesport, Pennsylvania. I think it's at 10 o'clock, I think, in the morning. Okay, with that, I'm going to take a moment of silence and remembrance of Wayne Valentino, W3 Victor America, and John Roberts, Alpha 3 Oscar Zulu. This is Whiskey 3 Oscar Charlie.
Yeah, and so I didn't know he died. That's terrible. Yeah, please, moment of silence.
Okay, this is Whiskey 3 Oscar Charlie for the Two Rivers net. Okay, I'll be taking some check-ins here in a moment. If you'd like to check in, please give your call sign slowly and phonetically. Please spell out your call sign and let us know if you have any announcements or comments for this radio net. At this time, I'm looking for any officers of the Two Rivers ARC wish to check into the Two Rivers net. W3OZ. W3OZ, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango. Bob Elizabeth Township. Any check? Giving to the net, no traffic. The only thing I have, Chuck, is condolences to John's family. We're going to miss him. W3OZ. Please recognize November 3, Juliet, Hotel Bravo, Jim and McKeesport. Good evening to everyone on the net. No traffic. W3OZ. This is Whiskey, Uniform 3 Uniform, Kurt and Elizabeth, no traffic. W3OC. Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa, Bill Jefferson Hill. Good evening to all. I have no traffic, and thanks for the help this weekend, Chuck. W3OC. November 3 Golf Lima Victor, Jeff, currently in Squirrel Hill, no traffic. Hey, thank you. I got Kilo Bravo 3 Sugar Tango, November 3 Juliet Hotel Bravo, Whiskey Uniform 3 Uniform, Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Papa, and also N3 Golf Lima Victor. Okay, are there any other members of the Two Rivers ARC Board of Directors wish to check in? Not heard. Already, okay. Now I'm looking for station property, mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County. Will you 3OC? November 3, Zulu Charlie Hotel Portable, Ricky up in Rockville.
W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Whiskey America 3, Alpha Hotel Charlie, Antonio serving Pittsburgh. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone on the net, and my deepest condolences to John Roberts. Okay, why aren't you working? Come on. Oh my god. You should be getting this now. Come on. There.
County, no traffic. W3OC. W3OC, here's Kilo Bravo 3, Victor Sierra. Oh, Dan out here in Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. 3OC. Recognize November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform and 3 TAU Norman Dan with Morning County. Good evening, Chuck, and everybody on the net. Okay, thank you. I thank you all. I got November 3 Zulu Charlie Hotel Portable, Whiskey American 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie, Whiskey 3 Sugar Echo Mexico Mobile, Whiskey American 3 Alpha Kilo Foxtrot, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, and November 3 Tango Alpha Unit. Is there anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? W3OC, W3BBD Portable, West Mifflin. Condolences to John's family. John was a longtime member of the Gateway FM Association also. Okay, thank you, Andy. WA3BBD Port. Thank you. I didn't know that. Okay. That's a good thing. Okay, anybody else operate mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? Okay, not heard. All right, now we'll go for general check-ins. Anyone else that has to check to make do so, call up. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Bravo 3 Lima. I'm sorry, Kilo Bravo 3. Sorry, stand by. Please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 November Foxtrot. Sorry, forgot my phonetic alphabet. Mike and Scott Concept. Good evening, it's Chuck and everyone on the net. No traffic. W3OC. Next of all, please recognize Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Foxtrot. Steve and Pitcairn Heights. Good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. W3OC. Here's Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo. Royal and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening, and net. No comment. W3OC. Kilo Bravo 3, Yankee India, November, Richport, Yukon, no for the dumbest. W3OC. W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3, India, Romeo Golf. Good evening to you, Chuck, and everyone on the net. My sympathies go out to John and his wife, Linda, and family. W3OC. This is Kilo Alpha 3, Kilo Sierra Papa. And yes, condolences to John's family. And he was a regular for many, many years on the Gateway FM Association repeaters at the morning drive time. Okay, Roger, thank you all. All right, Kim, thank you for that remembrance. I didn't know that, but okay. Let's see, I recognize Kilo Charlie 3 November Fox, Whiskey 3 Sierra Hotel Fox, Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio, Kilo Bravo 3 Yankee India November, Kilo Charlie 3 in your radio ball, and Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa. Anybody else? W3OC, this is Kilo Alpha 3 Echo Kilo Oscar, Smithy in O'Hara Township. No comment. Good evening, send that. W3OC. Just call me Whiskey Victor 8, Mike Tango, Mike in Weird, West Virginia. Got you guys by accident, check in. No traffic. W3OC. Here's Kilo Alpha 3, New Orleans, Japan, Whiskey, David, Trump. Good evening, Chuck. Okay, thank you. This is Whiskey Triage Confirmed. I got Kilo Alpha 3 Echo Kilo Oscar, Whiskey Victor 8, Mexico Tango, Mexico. I think I got it right. Kilo Alpha 3, New Japan, Whiskey. Anybody else? November 3, Tango Alpha Yankee, Jeff in North of Dallas. Good evening to you, Chuck, and our Brennan at this evening. No further comments. Okay, I got November 3, Tango Alpha Yankee. Alrighty, thank you. Thanks to all you folks that checked in this evening. Okay, let's get into it. We do have a inline transmission keyed up on the computer, and I do have some general information of you. Let's see, the Two Rivers ARC has two other radio nets Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the linked Two Rivers ARC repeaters, 147.12, 446.50. That's the informal captain. So we get a chance to run a group over there. And Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. on the 10-meter band on frequency 28.450 megahertz for upper sideband. Okay. And of course, the radio club has its ham and egg breakfast. It's held on the second Saturday of every month at Diet Cornerstone Diner, 620 Long Run Road in Eastport, Pennsylvania. That's at the entrance to the Olympic Shopping Center for the year. That's coming up this week, this Saturday. Okay. I'll look at the other calendar. I did some updates on the calendar. It's up on our website, www.TRARC. That's the upcoming activity on the 12th. There's an exam session held by the North Hills Amateur Radio Club in Glenshaw, PA. On the 19th, the free shooter driveway contest on the 10-meter band, and then CW mode, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's a lot of information on their website, freeshooters.org on the internet. Also on the 19th, there's an exam session by the Steel City ARC at their, I think it's at their clubhouse in Carnegie. Also on the 19th, the Skyview Radio Society has exams at their clubhouse in Kansas. And also on the 19th, Carnegie Tech Radio Club has exams at the Carnegie, Carnegie Mellon University down there in Kansas. Also on the 26th of this month, the Wireless Association of South Hill exam team are going to have an exam session in the morning. That's the Lincoln Office Building, 3735 Buffalo Drive in South Park, PA. Same day, another exam session with more emergency amateur radio service at the Masonic Lodge in Greensburg, PA. A lot of exams for the capabilities this month, so I got most of this information on the ARO website, www.arol.net. .org, I think it is. And of course, on the 27th of February, that's on a Sunday, the Wireless Association of South Hills. South Hills has their WiseFest 2022 at One Lincoln Office Building, 3735 Buffalo Drive in South Park, Pennsylvania. Information on their website and the flyer at N3 Sugar Hotel, N3SH.org. So if you want to see the flyer, particulars for that. They're advertising it as an old-fashioned ham fest. free admission and all that good stuff to get in. So take a look at their website and take a look at their flyer, that's for sure. Okay, recently announced, let's see, where's that? Good evening, 8:15 p.m.
So I'm glad I found one thing. I mean, then I was determined that they thought if I wait any longer.
Alexa, remind me notification. I may consider it. Wait, is it time or no? Wait, hold on. Wait. There we go. There we go.
Amateur Radio News Report number 2310 with a release date of Friday, February 4th, 2022. Follow the inside. 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is the QSC. Radio adventure in the sea north of Russia. Japan reaches out to young amateurs. And hands honor one of America's best-known presidents. All this and more is Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2310 comes your way right now. From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, weekly amateur radio news and post service. Now reporting from Picayune, Mississippi, here is Don Wilbeck, 85DW. We begin this week with a tale of adventure. While many of us in the Northern Hemisphere may be bitterly complaining about winter's spite, here are some amateurs who are actively seeking out the most wintry of winters, north of Russia. Jeremy Booth, G4NJX, has the details.
It was little more than a month before a team of 6 adventurers from the Russian Robinson Club departed for Ricochet Island in the Kara Sea. The island, which is number AS1004 in the Islands on the Air Award Scheme, bears the name of the late Russian meteorologist who was devoted to the study of Russia's northern seas. The team departs on March the 3rd and will travel to their activation site by snowmobile, setting up camp and using the call sign R150WS. The call sign is a nod to the 150 years that has elapsed since Ricochet, Mikhail Alexandrovich and other scientists founded the Russian Weather Service. According to a Twitter posting by Andy EU7A, the team may also try to operate en route from Isachenko Island, IOTA AS050. If they are successful, they'll be active there as RI0BI. This adventure is the 6th in the club series of legends of the Arctic expeditions. According to the club's website, they are also planning a video documentary similar to those created on previous expeditions. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Booth, G4NJH.
Meanwhile, in the much warmer Caribbean, amateurs are marking nearly 3 decades of success for their club in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. John Williams, VK4JJW, has that report.
The view of Mount St. Andrews could not have been more perfect for members of the Yulu radio movement in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On January 22nd, the members of the Ham Radio Organization and their families gathered within view of that important summit to mark 27 years since the group was founded atop that big 2,000 feet above sea level by 5 amateurs. Known originally as the Rainbow Radio League, its purpose remains the same today, providing a team of volunteers available for disaster AA3OZ, one of the original five, spoke at the recent celebration, sharing the story of the hand's first portable operation as a formal group in 1995. The anniversary celebration included the induction of two honoured guests, Ira Harris, VP2EIH from Anguilla, and Donald Howe, 9Z4SZ from Trinidad, as yearly members. The next day, the celebration continued as some of the hands visited Mary Barnard at J88AF and Martin Barnard at J88AA to thank the three long-time hands for their years of personal assistance to Yulu. Moving forward, the group's next step is to consider a name change to the Yulu Amateur Radio Association and make plans for several SOTA and POTA activations this year. The Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm John Williams, VK4JJW.
CW enthusiasts, were you busy with your straight key for the first few weeks of the year? You're likely in the log for a very successful event by the Straight Key Century Club. Randy Fly, W4XJ, is here to tell us more. The party's over, says the welcoming message on the Straight Key Century Club website. That means that January's Straight Key Month, the club's 16th annual event, ended in a flurry of final contacts, fast approaching a total of almost 50,000, according to their website. In addition to congratulating all club members who signed up to be operators for this special event, the club also thanked Justin, KF0GZT, for submitting the design that is being featured in this year's Straight Key Month QSL card. The event also marks the 16th anniversary of the Straight Key Century Club, which encouraged all operators to celebrate the original tools of the early days of radio telegraphy by using straight keys, bugs, or tutti keys during their shifts on the air. Official stations operated in all 13 U.S. regional callings. Separate stations were on the air from 6 IARU continental regions, along with those in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Randy Fly, W4XJ, operating this year as K3Y/0. Congratulations to the members of the new Westminster Amateur Radio Club in British Columbia, which has been given an $8,000 grant from the province to support and develop its emergency radio response capabilities. According to a report in the new Westminster Record, the hand club is among 250 nonprofit groups to receive grants from an estimated $140 million of funding for support public safety and conservation programs. The grant to the Amateur Radio Club is part of about $5.5 million earmarked specifically for emergency and safety services. No one likes radio interference, not hands, and certainly not airline pilots. And Durant, DD5LB, tells us about interference that's reportedly impacting plane navigation. Radio interference that was created with electronic spoofing of GPS signals is reported to be interfering with aircraft attempting to land at Israel's Ben Gurion Airport, according to several news outlets. The Times of Israel reports that the signals are coming from defense systems installed in Syria by Russia, and they are having an impact on commercial airliners. State-owned Israeli TV station KAN said that Moscow had told Israel the signals were part of a defense system designed to protect Russian soldiers in Syria. A pilot told the KAN news outlet that the signals during the last 4 weeks have been as strong as those experienced in early 2019. The pilot said, however, that those earlier signals eventually stopped. He told the station, quote, "What we've run into is electromagnetic spectrum interference from the east, which has taken us a while to understand what it is," end quote. The report says that officials believe the interference with commercial planes is collateral damage and that the jamming is directed elsewhere. For Amateur Radio Newsline, Ahmed Durant, D5LP. In Japan, officials have begun taking extra steps to ensure amateur radio is accessible for the youngest of the young who aspire to get their licenses. Jason Daniels, VK2LAW, has the following death story.
Members of the new panel, designed to make amateur radio more accessible for beginners in Japan, held their first meeting on January 26th. The Amateur Radio Advisory Board for Wireless Human Resource Development was created by the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. One of its members is Yoshinori Tagayo, Juliet Golf 1 Kilo Tango Charlie, president of the Japan Amateur Radio League. According to a press release on the ministry's website, the goals include fostering experimentation and research in amateur radio and making activities more accessible for newcomers, especially the very young. more opportunities for elementary and junior high school students to learn about amateur radio. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jason Daniels, VK2LAW. Amplitude modulation enthusiasts have been gearing up for the AEM rally being held from 0 hours UTC Saturday, February 5th through to 0700 UTC on Sunday, February 7th. Plans are in place, even with the prospect of a CME impact low voltage.
What low voltage?
Then start listening for the call of CQAM.
Come on.
We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Lookout Mountain Amateur Radio Community, N4LNC repeater, and the LMARC Southeast Link digital systems on Friday at 7:30 p.m. local time. AA3OZ. Some new long-distance records are being claimed for contact using amateur radio satellites. Congratulations to Juan Felipe, A65GC, and Jerome, F4DXB, for their QSO on HO 113 right on the 13th of January between the United Arab Emirates and France. Their contact at 1952 UTC reportedly spanned a distance of 5,298 kilometers, or nearly 3,300 miles. Jerome, F4DXB, also reported a contact with Sergei, EF4RM, which would be a new record for AO 109. That contact between Estonia and France on the 22nd of December last year, they believe covered 2,445 kilometers, or 1,500 miles, setting a new record for that satellite. Their contacts were reported on the ANSAT news service. Well done. Australian amateurs are paying tribute to 9 decades of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. They're doing it by, what else? Getting on the air. Jim Beaton's ZL2VHF has those details.
Just weeks after Hams in the UK began operating with a special call sign marking the 100th anniversary of the British Broadcasting Corporation, similar on-the-air festivities are taking place down under. Ham radio operators in Australia are using the call sign VK90 ABC to mark the 90th anniversary of the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. It's a nod to that memorable moment when the nation's airwaves came alive on the 23rd of November in 1923 with Australia's first licensed public radio broadcast, which featured the St Andrews Choir. All amateur radio operators throughout Australia will be eligible to use the call sign, but must apply for it first through an email to info@vk90abc.net. According to the call sign's QRZ page, there will be no QSL set direct or by the Bureau. Contacts are to be confirmed via LOTW and EQSL, with logs uploaded once a month. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jim Meacham, for the LTV Chat.
Another special event, this one in the U.S., marks the life of an American president, as we hear from Skeeter Nash, N5ASH. There's a lot of history in the logs of the log cabin in Lerna, Illinois, home of the Lincoln Log Cabin State Historic Site. The cabin was home to Thomas Lincoln and Sarah Bush Lincoln, father and stepmother of Abraham Lincoln, the lawyer who was to become the 16th president of the United States. The National Trail Amateur Radio Club is marking Lincoln's February birthday by putting 2 call signs on the air between February 7th and 13th. Be listening for K9L, which will be used by members operating from their home QTH, and W9L, which will be used at the historic site itself. There will be commemorative QSL cards for successful contact on all bands in all modes. The 86-acre historic site is no stranger to important moments in history, and this amateur radio event expects to be one of them. To learn more about how to get in the log, the radio log in this case, visit the QRZ page for either call sign. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Peter Nash, N5ASH. What's that up in the sky? A radio telescope in Australia has picked up some unusual signals, and Graham Kemp's VK4BD tells us what they might just see.
We've all heard strange transmissions on the air, but perhaps none as strange as these. A radio telescope in Western Australia has been picking up highly polarized signals in a repeating series of pulses, suggesting that the bright object, which appears to be its source, possesses a strong magnetic field. The scientists at the International Center for Radio Astronomy Research are detecting the radio waves at a rate of 3 times an hour. An astrophysicist at Curtin University believes this might be a magnetar, something that only existed in theory until recently. Researchers have known about the bright object since it was first seen in March of 2018. The more than 4,000 low-frequency antennas of the Murchison Wide Field Array are picking up transmissions which originate some 4,000 light-years away from Earth. Curtin University astrophysicist Natasha Hurley-Walker stated that no, this isn't coming from aliens. To solve the mystery, researchers at the Porty Supercomputing Centre in Perth will be exploring data from similar pulsing objects to compare to this one. From Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kempsey, K4BB. If you're excited about attending Hamcation in Orlando, Florida this month, and just excited about the World Radio Sports Team Championships next year in Bologna, Italy, here's the way to combine the two events. Be sure to look for organizers of the WRCC. WRCC organizers said they're happy to be finally making the trip after 2 long years. WRCC organizers Claudio I4BEQ and Fabio I4UFH will be making a presentation at Contest University on February 10th at the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel Orlando at SeaWorld, and will be attending Hamcation, which runs through February 13th. In the world of DX, the Bouvet Island 3Y0JT expedition has received another financial boost in support of its planned activation in November. The Norwegian Radio Relay League will be providing 20,000 krona, the equivalent of about $2,200 in U.S. currency. A number of Norwegian DX expeditioners are participating in the much-anticipated activation. Meanwhile, in Antarctica, Chris W2RTO is active from the K4USB McMurdo station on Rock Island, AN011, on 20 meters. Chris is using FSB and FDA that will be on the air until mid-2022. QSL KC4USB via K7MT or Lost Book of the World. In Bulgaria, Anton LZ1XM will activate the special call sign LZ150GD in honor of the 150th anniversary of the birth of Bulgarian revolutionary Georgy Nikolaus Delchev. Georgy is considered a national hero. Anton will be on the air between February 1st and 28th, QSL via the Bureau only. Listen for Lee, K3DMG on the air in Aruba as P4-K3DMG until the end of March. He's operating holiday style on various HF bands using mainly CW, RCTY, and digital modes. QSL via Logbook of the World and EQSL. Paper QSL will not be accepted. And throughout the month of February, Rob, the PA0RDY, will activate the special call sign TF88ANT from Amsterdam, marking the 19th Antarctic Activity Week celebration, which takes place between February 21st and 27th. Send QSL via PA0RDY, direct, which is preferred, or by the Bureau. And for our final story, we say, don't look now, but there's something on your tower, and it's not an antenna. Ross Walachi, KK6ITV, identifies the culprit.
When it comes to hunting DX, it's always fun to do it as a team. That partnership works nicely for Ann Elizabeth Manna, WB1ARU, and her husband Tony, WA1ENO, who make good use of their 60-foot talent. It has a step IR 3-element beam with a 40-meter loop about 53 feet up, and a 10-meter beam mounted crosswise above it at a height of about 57 feet. The tower is also home to a homebrew 3-legged wire antenna that runs off the tower to trees that are across the pond behind their house. A little lower down on the tower, a standoff mount holds ladder line that connects the wire antenna. While these are all good tools for hunting those elusive contacts, the tower is frequently home as well to one of the most successful hunting entities known to ham and non-ham alike, a local hawk. The hawk doesn't need to keep a mic to get a successful contact. The bird is, of course, a bit more omnidirectional, but it doesn't require any SWR measurements to safely get on or in the air. And shared a picture of the latest addition to the family tower in a recent Facebook post. As he sits in that familiar hunt and pounce position that may be familiar to many contesters, it's still a little hard to know. Does he have his sights set perhaps on Mouse Island off Corfu in Greece? For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Ralph Squillaci, KK6 ITV. With thanks to AMSAT News Service, Ann Elizabeth Manna, WB1ARU, the ARRL, CQ Magazine, David Bayar, K7TV, DXWorld.net,
InterestingEngineering.com, the Japan Amateur Radio League, KAN Israeli TV, National Trail Amateur Radio Club, the New Westminster Record, Ohio Fan DX, QRZ.com, the Radio Society of Great Britain, Russian Robinson Club, the Searchlight Newspaper, Southgate Amateur Radio News, ShortwaveRadio.de, Straight Key Century Club, the Times of Israel, the Turkish Press, VK90ABC.net, the Wireless Institute of Australia, Hulu Radio Movement, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. You can write to us at newsline@arnewsline.org. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the News Desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW in Picayune, Mississippi, saying 7-3, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2022. All rights are reserved.
Okay, it's W3OZ next to the Tubers Amateur Radio Club. That was this week's Newsline transmission. Okay, I don't have any more announcements or comments or anything at this time. So at this time we'll take some late check-ins, and then if you'd like to check in done, so please call us.
W3OZ, WA3 Tango Fox Sierra.
W3OZ, here is Kilo 12-3, Delta Victor Delta, Adolf from Irwin, good evening, Chuck. Everybody on the net, go for the conference.
Okay, got Whiskey American 3 Tango Fox Sugar, and Kilo Bravo 3 Delta Victor Delta. Anybody else?
Good evening, 8:37 p.m.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I don't know how to do that. Yeah, like I said. Yep. Oh well.